Hey, this is Mr. Ward, and this is going to be a key for the Do Now 16.3 for algebra. So here, number 1a, I've got the equation x over 25 plus y over 18 equals 1. And what's the x-intercept? Remember, that is when the x-intercept is what x is when y is 0. So since y has to be 0, we can just get rid of the y over 18 part. We have x over 25 plus 0 over 18, and since it's, let's make that a 0, 0 over 18, we don't care about 0 over 18, so we can just eliminate it. So we really are just dealing with x over 25 plus 1, equals 1. Now you could mental math this and just say, well, x has to be 25, or you could multiply both sides by 25 and to get rid of the denominator, and 1 times 25 will be 25, so x equals 25, and we have an x-intercept at 25, 0. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. We have the same equation, and now we want to know the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is when x is 0. So since we know what x is, we can replace x with it. So 0 over 25 plus y over 18 equals 1. And once again, we can eliminate that 0 over 25 because it's just 0. So y over 18 equals 1. And then we can either mental math that 18 over 18 is 1, or we can multiply both sides by 18, and y will be 18 because that's 18 times 1. So 18 is the y-intercept, and it's at a point 0, 18. And we've just been working with what's called the intercept form, and the intercept form allows us to create a line that will go, if we know the x and y intercepts, it'll make a line. So that's the x-intercept 25, and that's the y-intercept at 18. Okay, and I'll draw the most amazing line you've ever seen. There you go. That line is the line. Every single point on that satisfies this basic equation, x over 25 plus y over 18 okay, the relationship will always be that they add up to 1. If x is over the x-intercept and y is over the y-intercept, that'll always add up to 1. Okay, so you have just been working with the intercept form, so I'm just reminding you about this form, which is x over a, the x-intercept, plus y over b, the y-intercept, equals 1, and that will work for all lines except for lines going through the origin, because if you're going through the origin, that means you're dividing something by dividing x and y by 0. Okay, what are the x and y intercepts for this one? Well, remember the x-intercept is when y is 0, so we ignore the 5y part because that's 5 times 0. So for x-intercept, okay, for a, that's the x-intercept, we just say 4x plus 5 times 0 equals 60, and we solve for x. Okay, so that means we've just got 4x equals 60, and then we divide both sides by 4, and x equals 60 over 4. Notice that 60 is over 4 to get the x-intercept, and that actually points to a cheat code, and so that x is 15. So we have an x-intercept at 15, 0. All right, now for the y-intercept, which I'm going to say for b, we're going to replace x with 0. So 4 times 0 plus 5y equals 60, and we'll just solve for y. Since x is 0, we don't care about 4 times 0, so we're really just doing 6y equals 60, and so y equals 60 over, what am I doing there? That's a 5, that's not a 6. Copying errors will get you, by the way. Slow yourself down just a little bit, just like I just did, so you can catch yourself making a goof. So 60 over 5, notice 60 over 5 ends up being the y-intercept. 60 over 4 ended up being the x-intercept. This is a cheat code. That is a cheat code. Use it. So 60 divided by 5 is 12. So we have a y-intercept at 0, 12. It's 0, 12 because x is 0. And so you have just found the x and y-intercept using what's called the standard form. Now I'm reminding you once again about the slope formula, and Jimbo is messing up again. Now I know a couple folks are really getting tired of Jimbo's errors. However, because I'm seeing those mistakes happening, I thought it is still important for us to discuss this. So if you're like totally getting this and you're not making this mistake, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But here we go. We have 15, 0 and 0, 12. I'm going to draw that on a graph because I think it is really useful to see it. So right there is going to be 0, 12. There's that point. Over here is going to be 15, 0, a little bit further out. Okay. So that really is a 15. It's not some language other than English. So here we go. We've got these 2 points. Now, if I draw a line through them, you probably already noticed that that line has a negative slope. It goes down. Okay, it goes down. So the rise is negative, and the run is positive if we're going from that point. Or if we go up, the rise is positive, and the run is negative. So that would be negative 15 if we did it that way, and that would be positive 12. Okay, or if we did it this way, it's negative 12, going down from 0, 12 to 15, 0, and then positive 15. Either way, we should have a negative slope. It should be either 12 over 15 or 12 over negative 15. So m is either, I'll actually start with the 1 over here. It's either negative 12 over 15 or 12 over negative 15, and both are the same dang thing. Okay, so the slope is going to be, that boils down to negative 4/5. We can reduce that, negative 4 over 5. And so how did Jimbo get positive 4 over 5? So there's two possibilities. One is he just did his change of y in the opposite direction of his change of x. So maybe he did this. Maybe he did change of y and then change of x, just in opposite directions, not flowing from one point. Notice how this flows from this point. This one flows from that point. This is going to that point and then going over to the other point. It's not flowing in the same direction. So if he did that, he would have had 12 over 15. The other possibility is he just grabbed those numbers. He grabbed 12 and he grabbed 15. He just did 12 over 15 and didn't even pay attention to the way the points relate to each other, the flow of those points. Okay, so one or the other is going to end up negative. All right, I hope that has helped, and I'm going to stop